a few whispers on gossip sites has now grown into a major media frenzy. Mendeecees, the entertainment industry seemed to be shocked. The era of social media chaos. Fans are stunned by the discovery, and the firm is split. How may these two be related? Have become so uncontrollable, and how could Yandy, who was formerly regarded as one of the toughest women on reality TV, cry when the truth came to light? Music apparently files for divorce and sobs hysterically. According to sources, the tragic film full of surprises, betrayals, and poignancy, thanks to voice notes, screenshots, and comments from us. This is one of the most talked about tales in recent memory. As Tamar allegedly takes the matter to court, we looked at our motivation and the boundary between fame and sorrow. Yandy's life appears to be collapsing in real time. Her and Mendeecees' public split has devastated some who previously believed they were a power couple. What really transpired behind those closed doors? And why is everyone suddenly against Mendeecees? The consensus of this narrative is growing. Hold on tight. When the initial charges emerged, the entertainment industry as a whole froze. Gossip blogs started to spread the startling story that Tamar Braxton had sued Mendeecees for harassment. Following purported court documents, the story swiftly surfaced on all of the main blogs and was linked to what had previously been written off as a spurious rumor. By what they read, the same man pledged allegiance and repentance throughout his absence. Mendeecees was now charged with a felony that may permanently damage his reputation. According to the charges, the incident occurred weeks ago at a posh hotel in Los Angeles during what was supposed to be a relaxed business meeting. Reports state that to discuss possible partnerships for her next project, Tamar attended a covert meeting with managers and producers. Later that evening, attendees allegedly joined the group after visiting the same location for unrelated causes. At first, nobody gave it much notice because celebrities frequently gathered in these locations. However, as the evening wore on, something shifted. Tension between Tamar and the Mendeecees was noted by witnesses. Tamar also seemed to be getting increasingly uneasy. An source said on the internet that Tamar discreetly departed the party and went to her room. Maybe to take a nap? Soon later, though, it was claimed that someone had seen Mendeecees strolling along the same hallway. Following then, contradicting information from other sources surfaced, making the specifics unclear. Some said nothing occurred, but another claimed Tamar subsequently made a desperate call to her aid. No matter what had occurred, there was no doubt that Tamar had brought legal action, and things were really bad. When the news emerged, hashtags with Tamar's name appeared on Instagram and Twitter, causing social media to go berserk. Two groups of fans emerged. Some people offered Tamar their unshakable support and commended her for having the courage to stand up and seek justice. However, some criticized the timing, saying it was too abrupt or odd. "I adore Tamar, but there's a problem," a fan made a tweet. "Why now?" By morning, thousands of videos and comments examined every angle as the dispute grew more heated. "Don't question a woman's pain, miss," was remarked, but Yandy was experiencing an unanticipated nightmare. Like everyone else, she apparently learned about the case online. People that are close to her reported that after being stunned by the articles, she began to cry. On her blog, one of Yandy's pals expressed her belief that Mendeecees had changed. She trusted and loved their family. Yandy's last Instagram story, which included the phrase "hurt beyond words" on a plain black backdrop, had previously been thousands of people's screenshots. The story disappeared after a day. Supports her worst fear come true. As the situation deteriorated, entertainment media noticed that Yandy had ceased posting anything on her website. Formal declarations. Tamar's team just said that her lawyers will handle everything. In the interim, in a succinct statement, Mendeecees' camp denied any misconduct. The internet erupted over Mendeecees' statement that she respects all women and has never harassed anybody, which stated that the assertions being made are wholly untrue. The internet was looking for evidence, facts, or anything that would show who was telling the truth. A gossip podcast that purported to have exclusive information from someone who was their buyer. Tamar was furious as she left the gathering. The presenter said that there had been some sort of incident close to her suite, and hotel employees subsequently verified this. It was not feasible to ascertain with confidence if anything was true or merely a story. An unnamed video clip that started making the rounds online exacerbated the issue. Mendeecees were purportedly seen on a subpar security video at Tamar's hotel entrance. The incapacity to confirm the accuracy of the tape was unimportant. The story was already starting to take shape in people's thoughts when they saw it. Tamar's quiet disclosed a great deal throughout the course of the days. She avoided making any public appearances and didn't reply to comments. comments. According to reports, Tamar's close friends said, "Tamar is heartbroken, but she's standing strong." Her comment alone sparked a fresh conversation. In court, she wants the truth to be revealed. Avoid using social media. It reminded supporters of Tamar's numerous triumphs despite public setbacks, such as heartache, controversy, and treachery. But this time, the suffering was deeper, more powerful, and more intimate. A few days later, he was seen trying to keep his cool while exiting a courtroom with an angry expression. Photographers yelled questions at him, but he ignored them. One reporter asked, "Did you really harass Tamar? Are you being abandoned by Yandy?" asked another. His silence just encouraged conjecture. By that evening, there were indications that Mendeecees had set up a meeting with his lawyers and that Yandy was thinking about getting a divorce. At this time, Yandy's world fell apart. According to reports, she was attempting to cope with the strain and humiliation of her marriage, becoming the focus of a public argument. She has been sobbing non-stop, according to one of her friends, and she can't even glance at her phone without seeing her husband's name associated with something terrible. Yandy is distraught. According to one insider, she is no longer sure what to trust. The reality program aired a scene in which Yandy cried and said that they had never been able to trust anybody. She had said, I love him, but love doesn't make mistakes go away. People kept acting out that scene repeatedly, relating it to the present accusations. Fans started looking for indications of marital problems in Mendeecees and Yandy's earlier conversations. As the stress increased, the industry responded with equal vigor. Several of Mendeecees' peers cautioned against casting judgment, and producers who had previously explained. A fellow reality star stated, "We don't know the full story yet, so everyone needs to calm down. Too soon." However, because the news was spreading faster than anybody could stop and social media was already taking sides, the advice was ignored. At the end of the week, Yandy reportedly packed up her belongings and left the family home. Wearing dark glasses and a hooded sweater, she seemed sad in a paparazzi at a hotel. Many individuals became popular, stating things like, "Peace, and you can't heal where you're hurt." Others said Yandy was using the circumstance to become well known. A theory quickly refuted by her followers. With Mendeecees' calm demeanor, the events seemed like a horrible television drama happening in real life. Denies Yandy's evident anguish and Tamar's silent fortitude. Everything appeared to grow more difficult the more people delved. Every assertion created a new query, and each weight seemed to validate it. Everyone was curious to see who would reveal it first. Who had previously thought of Mendeecees as a reformed family guy started to question everything as the media frenzy grew more intense. His previous disagreements started to surface on blogs, bringing historical information into the present. Online comment sections repeated every error he had ever committed. People were now examining his complete personality rather than simply the case. Once a cheater, always a cheater was one reply, while another wrote, "You can't judge someone's past when they're trying to change, despite their cautious approach." According to reports, Tamar's team was drafting an official statement to explain what actually happened. A reporter was purportedly informed by one of Tamar's representatives. Tamar doesn't want this to become a circus. Fans started posting personal stories, tagging her in encouraging remarks, and using hashtags like #StandWithTamar and #JusticeForIt in reaction to this comment alone, which sparked yet another wave of compassion on social media. All she wants is to be appreciated and heard. Mendeecees tried to act normally in the interim, but cameras followed him everywhere. Tension started to manifest. It was impossible to discern if he was speaking to a buddy Yandy or his lawyer. However, a witness claimed to have heard him discuss how falsehoods had ruined his life, but it was evident that he was crumbling under the pressure of everything during a furious phone dispute outside a restaurant. The self-assured public persona Yandy was deteriorating, as the public witnessed on television. However, it was apparently depending on her closest friends and relatives. Although she hadn't disclosed it to the public, insiders said she had been attending therapy to manage the emotional strain. The notion that a once powerful couple was splitting up over something so wicked. Yandy is no longer herself, an acquaintance said. She is attempting to remain strong for the children, and some even went back and commented on her earlier tweets about forgiveness and devotion, writing things like, "You deserve better," and "Keep your peace." However, something inside of her was broken by this. When a voice message that had been leaked started making the rounds online, things got even more heated. "I just wanted him to leave me alone." A woman on the tape who sounded like Tamar wept. The legitimacy of the video could not be verified. However, with headlines like, "Is this Tamar talking about Mendeecees?" it garnered a lot of attention right away. On the other hand, some people think the film is false and may have been changed or taken out of its natural context. However, the internet had already determined Mendeecees' guilt, so it didn't matter. It was shared again on gossip websites and evidence of harassment. "I would like that," Tamar said. "I respect all women, thus this narrative makes me think, well, I know the reality."